And Boots had an open workout and said that, he down to take on Keith. He loved that fight. Said he loved the Errol Spence fight. Said he loved the Terrence Crawford fight, obviously. But says that he'll be open to go up to 54 and take Jermell Charlo belt. He said, I go to 54, get a belt, come back down to 47 and get some belts. Now, you probably ask, like, what's the point of coming back down? And why Virgil and Jaron trying to get belts so bad? They ain't talking about unifying as much. It's because it's kind of like De La Hoya. We was a five champion in five different weight classes. It's just to add on to your resume. They tell you Manny Pacquiao like an 8th division champion, but a lot of those belts wasn't world championship level belts. They try to tell you that Triple G was on the cusp of breaking Bernard Hopkins' championship record by defending a regular WBA when it turned to Super WBA. You can't count a belt that ain't the championship belt yet. So, at the end of the day, I continue to tell y'all it's different sets of rules for different guys in boxing. Okay? But yeah, he said he'll take them on, and at the end of the day, to be honest, you hear people say, well, Earl and Jermell fight the same, and Earl is tougher than Jermell. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't. I seen Jermell Charlo box, be finesse. He got with Derek, became power. With Castanos, he started to put it all together. It's like, I don't know, you ever been to Boston Market? It used to be Boston Chicken when I was growing up. They changed the Boston Market. How they put the yams and then the sugar in the yam, little brown sugar in the yams. Then they put marshmallows in there. Well, them bitches be humping too. Like Jermell had, you can't see me, and I'm still trapping off the Moto G. I just mailed off my phone today. It's next day air, so see how fast they can fix it, or I'm gonna have to pay $250 for it. What it is. But yeah, you got you got one good ingredient like the marshmallow, the yams over here, the butter, the sugar. And when the Castanos fight, he started to put all the Ronnie shit together, all the Derek James stuff together. He started to figure out that, I can be finesse. I can be power. I can do all this shit in one fight and be a well-rounded fighter, which I told y'all. He put it all together. He the most complete fighter in boxing, bar none. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, Jaron Ennis doing what young fighters do. He doing what young fighters do. They got that young energy. They're ready to run up on any and everybody. That's what they do. At the end of the day, I heard about him, in his sparring stories, but he routinely beating up bigger guys. I seen him next to J-Rock in the picture YSM Media he posted on Facebook. He bigger than taller than J-Rock. He got a fight coming up. Like literally, like he look a little bit taller, maybe around the height, but thicker. And at the end of the day, that don't mean because you bigger as a junior middleweight that you gonna be a good junior middleweight or you ready to be a middleweight. Well, my homies say, man, he really a middleweight. And from the stories I've been hearing, he beat up an Egner Berlanga opponent in the gym and stopped him. A former Berlanga opponent and stopped him. And Berlanga went the distance with this guy. I'll leave it at that. I ain't gonna say he fight on the tank card that's coming up. Or if it is gonna be a tank card. But yeah, he beat up, stopped the nigga in the gym. So at the end of the day, he beat up a young and rising 154 pounder in sparring, beat the dog walking shit out of him. Second time he came back and sparred, he did a good job. So, at the end of the day, all Jaron needs to do is the experience. No matter how much sparring experience you got versus bigger dudes, no matter how much experience you got in the gym versus pros and world champions, is no supplement for the actual fight. It's none. He needs the actual fights. And once he get the actual fights, he get that experience. You can make that jump to hyperspeed. What they call that hyperspeed in Star Wars, and I'll be ready for it. And I think it's just the experience. You got some guys throughout history, Leon Spinks. You had some guys, who was ready to get belts before they should have got belts, like Lomachenko, and it's a number of guys who are prospects that whoop world champions. But the difference from way back then, Spinks was a gold medalist, but the difference between some guys, their first world title fight was after 30, 40 fights. And you think about it, you know what I'm saying? They was fighting 10 times a year, 5, 6, 7 times a year. I think Mayweather had like 12 or 13 fights in a year or something like that. So once you think about it, that's like 3 years. 3 years now, nigga, you lucky to have 12 fights. So But he got to about 30 fights. Got the Showtime. His his progression stopped. His quantity of fights stopped. But I know what he can do. Now is he ready to do that to Errol Spence, man? I don't know. I'm gonna go with the experience. If Spence punches wasn't snapping like they was versus Ugas, I would have favored Jaron Ennis. The one that fought Sean, the one that fought Mikey, I'd probably kind of say it's a pick 'em fight. But the type of condition that he was in, fighting Ugas, his punches was snapping. His punch. It wasn't the volume. It was the quality of punches that he was throwing. That was the difference. It was the quality of punches. That's what it was. It was the quality of punches that he was throwing. That was the difference. It was the quality of punches. That was the difference. The quality of punches. That's the difference. It was the quality. Not the quantity, it's the quality. And them jokers was snapping. He was punching with real conviction in that fight. His steam was back on his shots. So he punching like that, and his experience and his jab is what's gonna carry the day versus if he beat Jaron Ennis. It's gonna be him bagging him up. And that's how you gotta fight Ennis. You gotta pressure him. Or you gotta be prepared to counter him. Whichever one you prefer. You sit back and counter him, he might get you. You know what I'm saying? So, but nonetheless, but I don't think he quite ready for Charlo. People say he gonna get lubing and all that stuff. Charlo experience, he in his prime. But he is beatable. That style that Ennis got, and stick and move and box and utilize the ring and all that type of stuff, that's going to get Charlo a problem. But Charlo is so strong and smart and got a great corner that he'll figure it out. He know exactly what to do. He athletic, he could be slick himself, but, I'm going to go with the experience. The one time I ain't go with the experience of note was when I picked Anthony Yarde to beat Kovalev. And had Anthony Yarde had more experience, he would have won that fight. His trainer said, empty the tank. Okay, if you're going to empty the tank, you better empty it to the body. Your body, my body. You know what I'm saying? You better throw that shit to the body. That was my whole thing about it. You better go to the body. Shit. But I don't think he's quite ready for that. And I think, he's knocking at the doorstep to be ready for a title. But yeah, his skill set. Only thing can he take a shot? That's one of the things that people don't mark off the prospect list. Can a particular fighter take the punishment? Sometimes that's a question. So I'm not sure. It's different when bigger gloves on and sparring gear on and all that stuff. It's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. But at the end of the day, it's a good fight. But at the end of the day, Jermell Charlo just gonna be a target hanging on to all the belts. And paying sanctioning belt fees, he just gonna be a target. That's it. He just gonna be a target. So at the end of the day, that's a hard fucking target because he ain't got no glass chin. He come in shape. You know what I'm saying? Them Charlo boys got great genetics. They work hard. You know what I'm saying? When they training right, everything on point. I mean, if you training in that Texas heat, man, shit. How can't you be in shape? How can't you make weight? But it's about time for him to move up before the weight whoop his ass. And once the weight gets you at that age, the next weight class gonna be you ain't gonna be there too long neither. The weight gonna whoop your ass at the next weight class. That's why you see Canelo moving up. But at the end of the day, Jaron Ennis doing what a prospect or a rising contender supposed to do. Call out the big names. Get your name out there. Attach your name to their name, and that's the name of the game. Floyd did it to De La Hoya for years. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence was doing it to Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman did it to Pacquiao and Floyd. You know what I'm saying? That's just the name of the game. That's he doing what he supposed to do. And throughout history, there's been times when guys like him, when, you know, y'all be looking at some of the names, like, who did he really beat? You know, back in the day, everybody was tough damn near. And they'll come out there and they'll whoop a champion ass. Some guys in boxing, they get the experience in the championship level fight, and they able to avoid the big mistake or recover from the big mistake, and they able to make up for it during the fight, and they're able to close the show. Yeah, in boxing, it's probably happened more times than you believe. Today is just the point that y'all done see a number of prospects that got up fucking upset or look lackluster. That's just the difference. But throughout times, been prospects whooping on champions' ass more times than not. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out the Box Moves playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Christian Chance get notifications. We go live with our video. Financially want to support the channel. Cash App, $CJGood313. Venmo CJGood313. PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. All of my link trees, the first link in the description. Don't forget to check out my Detroit channel right here on YouTube. Motor City Sports Talk, more sports, music, news, entertainment. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.